What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Run with Jay channel. So today we're going to be doing a 600 mile review of the Invincible Run 1. So people have asked for me to do a review on this shoe to see how the shoe is holding up, to see its performance so far, after a year of running in this shoe. So this will be a quick review of the Invincible Run 1. So if you guys are new to this channel, welcome. Please hit that like and subscribe button, as well as the bell for the notifications. And to all of returning subscribers, thank you so much for your contributions and support. So let's get this review started. Just a quick recap, the Invincible Run was a big hit, and people, were very excited about the shoe because it was the first, non-racing Nike shoe that had all ZoomX foam, which is, a lot of people's favorite foam, not because it's just so soft, but it's also gives a great energy return, and they use it in all of their high-end shoes as well. And what better to have this huge chunk of ZoomX foam on the shoe. And honestly, when I first put it on, the shoe just felt so soft. It was just great to, even walk and do slow runs in it as well. So a lot of people compare it to some of the Hoka shoes with the softness of the foam, but I think it's very unique in its own way. This is definitely one of my, favorite running shoes of all time, just for, normal runs or just recovery runs. So the original Invincible Run 1 was released around March of 2021. The cost of the shoe was $180, and it's I think it's still going to cost the same amount when the second version is released sometimes, maybe either in late June or early July. The weight of the shoe is 9.7 ounces for a size 8.5. And that is the same for this year's version as well, the Invincible Run 2. Offset is pretty much the same as well, with 9 millimeters. With 27.6 in the front and 36.6 in the rear. So not much has changed from the first version of the Invincible Run to the new one that's coming out this year in 2022. So I use the shoe primarily for recovery, slow runs. I've used it on vacation once when we went to Florida to walk around. It's definitely a unique feeling when walking around in this shoe. It is very soft and squishy, so for people that like that kind of feeling, this is definitely a shoe to look into. It's when you're running, you can definitely feel the softness of the shoe, and it's a little bit different compared to other shoes that might be a little bit stiffer as a recovery shoe. A lot of shoes now are trying to go for this softness feel. But, I know people still like shoes that you can actually feel the ground while you're running. So this shoe might not, be for those type of people. I would say if you want a stiffer shoe, there is the Infinity Run that from Nike. And they have released the third version as well, which is a little bit stiffer than last year's version. So I got about 600 miles in this shoe. It feels like I've probably ran over 1,000 miles with this shoe, honestly. I use it pretty much for everything on the treadmill. Outside, just sometimes even walking around the trails, but it's not recommended for that. As you can see, the shoe, the foam is still pretty much holding up. The huge stack of foam is still visible. Obviously there's going to be creases in the shoe. There's going to be some, wear and tear, especially in the outsole on the bottom. You can see I usually, land on the outside of my heel on the right side, so that part is kind of worn off already. But other than that, there might be the tip of the toe area that's a little bit worn off for the rubber, but the rubber is still kind of there. But other than that, everything else pretty much seems to be intact. The rubber looks good still, in my opinion, for the rest of the shoe on the outsole, and that's with 700 plus miles of running. So you can definitely tell that this rubber will, last you a long time. I'll bet I don't use it probably as much as other people might use it for, since I do have other shoes in the rotation. But still, I feel like this shoe is made pretty well and lasts a long time. Other things to note, by the ankle area, the padding here kind of is like ripped already, which isn't a big deal. It's more of a cosmetic issue. Everything else pretty much has stayed the same. I probably just washed the shoe maybe once or twice at most, in this year wearing the shoe. So I think it's holding up really well. I still can use the shoe to go out and run. Honestly, I still feel a little bit of the foam and the bounce while running outside. Definitely not as nice as compared to the brand new one that I recently got. You can tell the difference, but that's to be expected. And still, this would make a great recovery shoe. I think I could probably get maybe even 200-300 more miles out of this shoe, honestly, and I'll probably retire it and make it my walking shoe or something. But after all of these miles, the shoe is still holding up. It still runs good. Don't notice really anything that's different. The padding on all around the ankle area of the shoe is still intact. It's still got a nice, squish in it when you're, squeezing it with your hands. The tongue is still padded. Nothing has changed there. And what's really surprising is usually, when you get the shoes with the insoles that has print on it, after maybe 100 miles or so, the print is, gets worn out really quickly, right? However, in this shoe, you could still see some of the print on the insole, which is pretty nice. I wouldn't expect print to be, still on the shoe after this many miles, but I guess Nike's done a good job with making sure that this shoe is durable. So the insole still feels the same as before. Obviously, there's just some wear on the shoe, but still pretty good shoe. I reviewed the Infinity Run as well from Nike, which is also a recovery shoe, and that shoe lasts a really long time. I still have the first version of the shoe when it came out in, I think, 2020. And I mean, I use it for lawn mowing now, but that shoe, it can still run in it. And it's one of the the greater shoes that Nike has created. So the Invincible Run along with the Infinity Run are shoes that they've made for people with stability issues. So this shoe does help give you some stability with a lot of the heel collar, heel clip in the back of the shoe. So it's it's a shoe to help people that wants a neutral shoe that helps you with your stride as well. So keep that in mind. But other than that, this shoe is still in pretty good shape. I think I'll get a lot more miles from this shoe before, having to swap out for the new one. The price, I think for the older versions have come down a little bit since the new version is coming out. So, honestly, when the new version comes out, the first version, the price will drop. So, I would just, pick the first version. It's pretty much the same thing as the second version. They might have trimmed down a little bit of the ankle and fit, but it does pretty much the same thing, and it feels like the same thing as the original shoe. And if you do live by a Nike outlet, I've seen this shoe in the outlets for a huge discount. They in the black and white colors, but I'm sure they have it in other colors there now. So if you live by a Nike factory store, I would check it out. There's definitely some of these where I live. So if you want to get a good deal, be sure to check out those stores. You probably snag one up for great price. So yeah, this is my quick 600-mile review of the Nike Invincible Run 1. Still in very good shape. Some wear on the outsole, with the rubber, which is to be expected. But once you wear off the rubber, it's basically just foam, which isn't a bad thing as well. My Nike Vaporfly 4% pretty much has the same type of wear, and it's basically I'm running on foam, and I don't really notice the difference. It's still a very good shoe. So it's definitely made to last. So if you're looking into getting this shoe and you're wondering about the durability of this shoe is definitely very good, and it'll last you a long time. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know down below if you have any more questions about the Invincible Run or anything else, or if you just have any other feedback, please feel free to leave them down below. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please hit that like and subscribe button. So I hope you guys are all staying safe and your training is going well, and I'll talk to you guys on the next run.